up? All right. Holy smokes, guys. Oh my God, you can. You won't believe. Twitter was popping off early this morning. Where's my chat? Let me see my chat. What's up, chat? What's up? What's Z? Z, girl, what's up, boo boo? There go my boo, girl. That's my sister. Hey, girl. Welcome to the drama show. Guys, listen. So, let's see what happened. I came home from the gym, and I'm still hyped, right? So all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but Frank, which is Chrissy's soon-to-be husband, he releases that Eliza had locked her account. Okay, so she's pretending that she's part of the locking your account to see if you're gonna get some engagement. People who locked their account was just locking it and then they released it. Homegirl stayed locked, but she locked it. Let me see if I can go to. Hold on a second. She locked that sucker. Hold on a second. Right after she got the damn hold on. Let me go. Let's go to my Twitter. Hold on. So she locked it. Let's just go to my Twitter here for a second. So, okay. Dude, I don't like this picture anymore. But when you change pictures, your blue check mark goes away for like 5 to 6 days. So, okay, here we go. Where is it? Right here. Here we go, right? This is from Frank, right? So, Daily Beast released a daggone article at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, I was sitting here around about that time. No. I didn't get here till 6. Sorry. I didn't get here till 6 o'clock, all right? So, locked it at 5, 8, just might as well round it up to 5 a.m. She locks her account at 6. Because she knew the smoke was coming in, baby. Boom, she knew it was coming. And the account's still locked, but you know, I'm part of her friend, so I can see what she's saying. So I was like, so I saw this is Eliza Bleu. I'm like, what the hell? That's the article from the Daily Beast. Now y'all know that the Daily Beast is not our friend. Like you got a lot of like inbred babies who talking stupidity like I can't believe they took it political. I can't believe they didn't mention about free venting. I'm like, idiot, do you not know that this is a extremely progressive left-wing rag? How do you expect a left-wing publication to do right by right-wingers? Holy smoke, some people are just so... You know what? You got to pass a certain type of IQ test, I believe, in order to engage with people, right? That's like saying you expect Black Lives Matter to honor the forefathers who established the United States and wrote the Constitution. What's wrong with you? So anyway, let's look at here, right? So when that happened, I went and got the article. Oh boy! Now, thankfully, because you know I like to multitask. I'm a multitasker. They got a listen button, right? Look at this. They got a listen button where you can press this right here and you can listen to it. Because look, y'all ready for this long ass article? Watch this. Da 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 da. So you get my drift, right? The fucking article is long as hell, right? And so if you will listen to it, it's 27 minutes. I'm not reading all of this. We're going to listen and we're going to stop. We're going to listen, we're going to stop. And I'm going to talk about some things. But let's get back to this. So this is what I said. I'm listening to this article right now, and even though I am not a fan of the Daily Beast, I can honestly say that this is an excellent article about Eliza Bleu scandal. Tim Cass, Beanie Man, the bald-headed Manchichi, can stop his grift and tell Shane Cashman to not bother. Cause see, this is the thing. Shane was over at with his wife, by the way, was over at Eliza's parents' farm writing a fluff piece. They were writing a fluff piece. And then they try to spin it as if he was doing an investigation piece. And I was telling everybody, stop depending upon, dude, I swear to God, I'm gonna get people to stop focusing on Tim Pool. Now that I got my account back, I'm able to spread the word, honey. I'm like, hey, Tria Logic is back on Twitter. All right. Hey, stop looking for Tim Pool to daggone like deliver the news. He didn't do it with Jack Murphy. Why would you expect him to do it for Eliza? But we ain't got to worry about it no more because child. So I go, oh my God, they got all the receipts. They even have the interview I have of her admitting to being an escort, not a sex traffic victim. I don't know whether to be happy or angry that they released my secret. And I just realized I'm over it. Because the same interview that I have, they actually published, where she admitted to being an escort. She was not sex trafficked. Now I can say 100. See, yesterday I was like, I'm going to be on the side of she wasn't sex trafficked. She has to prove that she was. I said, I don't have to prove anything because I'm coming from the negative. Now they don't prove without a shadow of a doubt. Woo, child, hunty. And here's the thing. Let me just tell y'all something. The reason why the internet, and I got to say this over and over again, the reason why the internet is going after Eliza is not because she was doing prostitution. It's because she grifted as a sex trafficker. She has diluted it, and now she has spoiled people's references to when you actually meet someone that's sex trafficking, now you think they're suspect. And it's true. It's true. Because this woman tried to whitewash, and people are asking, why would she whitewash her past as an escort when she was proud of it? I believe that now that she got into age, she wants to get married. She wants to settle down. And she wants to take on a serious role in the conservative movement. But she just don't know how, and she thinks that she can't have her shady past. And maybe she can't. But here's the thing. I think she's looking to get to serious men. And if they find out her past of her being an escort, they're not going to do it. Well, girl, that's just the breaks, honey. That's just the breaks. But the fact, had she not deplatformed people, had she not was okay with people being censored, none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened. None of this would have happened. Okay. And everybody, like, I had to block some clown who want to sit up here and try to water down the article, talking about something. They got too political. They missed a lot of things. And I said, and when I came after him, now he want to play the victim. Now he want to deflect. Blocked his ass. I don't play that, man. If you sit up here and try to, because I know an infiltrator when I see one. If you try, listen, I don't like the Daily Beast. I can't stand the Daily Beast. But this was a good ass article. And let me tell you why it was good. They got her side of the story without her. They just got what she testified with. And they got people's side of the story that talked against her. So let's go over it together. Because I don't want to stay here this long. Uh-oh. Oh no, will it not let me do it? Hold on, guys. No, it won't. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to do it with light. Hold on, we're gonna go over the article. And sorry, I'm trying to okay. And then I'm gonna stop it periodically and then talk about some things. This is really good. I'm not lying. It's really, really good. She's done. She put a fork in her, baby. She is done. There's no coming back from that. And that's why I told Tim Pool, I said, you ain't got to bring out no article, you fence-sitting bastard. I'm so tired of people like running to the most incompetent people to do right by the internet, to do right by people. No, don't even worry about it, dude. And I'm sure, get ready for the quartering to make 2 videos about this today. All right, here we go.
Eliza Bleu's own friends aren't buying her trafficking story. By Will Summer, Kate Bricollet, Kelly Weil, Noah Kirsch. Almost famous. Elon Musk's favorite anti-trafficking advocate has set off a war in right-wing circles after Twitter banned some of her critics, and her own friends are poking holes in her story. With striking lilac hair and a pugnacious attitude, the anti-sex trafficking activist known as Eliza Bleu has broken into some of the top tiers of right-wing media in just a few years, growing her audience through interviews with popular figures like Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool.
Hold on. Speaking of that, do you know this fool said to her boyfriend, okay, if you've eaten, I'm going to maybe tell you to try to hold your food down because I'm about to tell y'all something that's going to really disgust you. Okay, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you know this fool said that if she cheats on her, she told her boyfriend at the time, she said, if I cheat on you, I'm going to cheat on you with either Elon Musk, some other guy, and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro. Girl, what? Oh my God. I was like, Ben Shapiro said no one ever. Holy smokes, dude. Okay.
And Dr. Drew Pinsky. But in late 2022, Bleu found an even more powerful ally, new Twitter owner Elon Musk. Bleu, who refers to herself as a survivor of human trafficking, has lent the billionaire an unusual form of credibility by insisting that pre-Musk Twitter was overrun with child pornography. Only Musk, Bleu says, has been willing to stamp out the abusive material on Twitter at scale. In another tweet, she declared, "The war against Elon Musk is actually a war over your mind." Musk responded with a bullseye emoji. Bleu's praise for Musk comes even as the billionaire has slashed much of Twitter's staff, including huge numbers of workers responsible for content moderation. For his part, Musk has boosted Bleu's profile on the site with replies and retweets, helping her earn more than 100,000 new followers in December alone. "You have a direct line to me on this issue," Musk told Bleu in a Twitter Space live chat in December. But now Bleu and Musk find themselves embroiled in a Twitter censorship controversy, after multiple critics of Bleu who shared embarrassing images from her past saw their accounts temporarily suspended from the site. Some users suggested that Bleu's direct line to Twitter brass and Musk himself may have led to the crackdown, even as the Twitter owner insists he's in favor of free speech and wide-ranging debate. Bleu and Twitter didn't respond to requests for comment. Amid the controversy over the suspended accounts, questions about Bleu's background have emerged. Her critics have seized on contradictory videos and interviews, and her frequent use of different names online, to suggest Bleu isn't who she claims to be. Now 2 former friends of Bleu tell the Daily Beast that, at best, Bleu is exaggerating her experiences for attention.
And they spilled the tea!
It's making a lot of her old friends around here really angry, said Carly Wenzel, a one-time pal of Bleu who has known her for 2 decades, who added she believes Bleu is completely lying.
Yep.
Bleu grew up in a rural area along Illinois' border with Iowa known as the Quad Cities. She's portrayed her homeschooled upbringing as an innocent one, albeit one that made her all the more naive about how the world really works. Despite her claims to the contrary, public records prove that Bleu's original name was Eliza Morthland. Born in 1981, her father is Richard Morthland, a farmer and former Illinois state representative who ran unsuccessfully on the GOP ticket for lieutenant governor in 2018. Morthland did not respond to a request for comment. In 2021, Bleu appeared to deny on Twitter that she was Eliza Morthland, but Facebook photos show her standing with other members of the Morthland family.
Why deny that?
A 2010 newspaper article about Richard Morthland shows a woman who looks just like Bleu standing next to the politician and identified as his daughter,
that's
Eliza
on Twitter.
Morthland. Richard Morthland also gave a comment for a 2009 article about a band Bleu worked for under her married name Eliza Seep. And Bleu's cosmetology license lists Richard Morthland's farm as her address. There's no question that Bleu has advocated for trafficking victims, especially on Twitter. But she has offered murky accounts of her own background that leave even her supporters unsure about all but the vaguest details. She can also grow hostile with reporters who ask for basic facts, like the years she was trafficked or the names of perpetrators.
Because she wasn't.
For example, journalist Katie Herzog reached Bleu on the phone in December, only to have Bleu become defensive when Herzog raised even the prospect of asking Bleu about her own story. Interviewed on Tim Pool's podcast, Bleu said she could not offer details about her alleged abusers because of unspecified legal issues.
Lies!
Then she asked why it would be a problem if she was making up her story. Let's say, hypothetically, it is made up, Bleu said. What's my biggest win so far in public? Getting Twitter to address child sexual abuse material and make it a top
you didn't
priority?
do none of that!
I'm not asking an abuser for money, and I'm not asking people for
Yes,
money,
you
she added.
are!
The Daily Beast pieced together a rough outline of Bleu's account of her trafficking experiences based on interviews she's given to sympathetic media outlets. Bleu has said that her trafficking spanned 2 different periods, separated by roughly a decade. In her telling, Bleu was first groomed by a prominent photographer she met at a Warped Tour concert in Chicago when she was 16. A few years later, when she was still a teenager in the late 1990s, Bleu's father drove her to Los Angeles because Bleu was convinced that an unnamed high-profile musician she met through that photographer would make her a star. Instead, she was sexually assaulted within 48 hours of arriving in the city, according to a 2020 podcast interview. Her traffickers quickly hooked her on a drug she knew as ice, generally recognized as slang for crystal methamphetamine, though Bleu has said she didn't know what drug it was. Bleu claims she was then sold for $500 to a sex trafficking ring in the Hollywood Hills, where she found herself living with members of a ring that trafficked transgender women. Okay. I was sold for $500 to a very old gentleman in the hills, Bleu said.
Okay, damn. How do I make this? Is there any way I can pull this down to... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Where was I?
2008 or 2009, when she was living in the Chicago area. In that same 2020 podcast interview, Bleu claimed she was trafficked by a high-profile athlete, whom she has declined to names. But Bleu was such a handful for her trafficked within 48 hours.
Okay.
The Daily Beast pieced together a rough outline of Bleu's account of her.
Oh, God, fucked up. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I was trying to see if I can bring this down so I don't have to constantly come up and do it like that. But anyway, here's the thing in reference to that. Now I done forgot what I was gonna say. No, I forgot. I done got so sidetracked. I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, we'll come back to this. All right, I'm so sorry, guys. My bad. I was gonna say something very important and I just forgot it. I'll just wait till afterwards. I'll just write it down. Hold on. Let me get my pen and paper and write it down. Okay. All right. We're just gonna write it down from now.
Her trafficking experiences based on interviews she's given to sympathetic media outlets. Bleu has said that her trafficking spanned 2 different periods, separated by roughly a decade. In her telling, Bleu was first groomed by a prominent photographer she met at a Warped Tour concert in Chicago when she was 16. A few years later, when she was still a teenager in the late 1990s, Bleu's father drove her to Los Angeles because Bleu was convinced that an unnamed, high-profile musician she met through that photographer would make her a star. Instead, she was sexually assaulted within 48 hours of arriving in the city, according to a 2020 podcast interview. Her traffickers quickly hooked her on a drug she knew as ice, generally recognized as slang for crystal methamphetamine, though Bleu has said she didn't know what drug it was. Bleu claims she was then sold for $500 to a sex trafficking ring in the Hollywood Hills, where she found herself living with members of a ring that trafficked transgender women.
This was a
I
lie!
was sold for $500 to a very old gentleman in the hills, Bleu said in the 2020 interview. Bleu claims she struggled to get enough water and food, because I was on drugs and other substances.
Another lie.
But Bleu was such a handful for her traffickers, in her telling, that they ultimately gave her back to her original trafficker for free. Bleu claims she was hospitalized for a drug overdose before returning to her family farm in Illinois. My family didn't even recognize me when I got off the plane, Bleu said. After 2 weeks on the farm, she returned to Los Angeles to retrieve her car, Bleu claims, but she was once again swept up into human trafficking for an undefined period.
You're a grown adult!
It's odd what happens to the trauma brain, Bleu said on the 2020 podcast episode to explain why she returned to her traffickers, comparing it to Stockholm Syndrome. Bleu's second trafficking period, in her account, began in roughly 2008 or 2009, when she was living in the Chicago area. In that same 2020 podcast interview, Bleu claimed she was trafficked by a high-profile athlete, whom she has declined to name.
Escort! She was an escort to the athlete.
According to Bleu, put her in a dangerous neighborhood she has said existed on what she called a gang line, the violent border where two Chicago gang territories meet. My mattress was on the floor because we had so many shootings that year in the area, Bleu recalled in 2020. I just didn't want to get shot. Bleu attempted to leave her traffickers in 2013, and, in her account, ultimately succeeded for good in about 2014. Bleu has repeatedly suggested that her former traffickers from Chicago might still be out to get revenge on her and her family members.
No, that's a lie. No.
When I stepped away from the gang, my traffickers lost money, Bleu said in the 2020 interview. And they want that money back. Asked in a 2021 interview why she hadn't pressed charges against the unnamed athlete and her other traffickers, Bleu, appearing on a podcast with more than 100,000 YouTube subscribers, said the men could still track her down and murder her. I am terrified that they would kill myself or my family or people that I care about, Bleu said. That's how organized they are. Last month, Bleu tweeted that her family knows every detail of her story and stands behind her. She then blasted the corporate media for asking questions about her past, declaring, "If anyone steps on my family's property or my property, let it be extremely clear that we are all armed." Wenzel, a one-time friend of Bleu who says she has known the anti-trafficking activist for more than 2 decades, doesn't think Bleu's account is accurate.
Here we go, y'all, the truth.
Wenzel told the Daily Beast that she met Bleu in the Quad Cities, where both women were partying with musicians. Wenzel was 18, and said Bleu was in her early 20s. The Daily Beast verified Wenzel's friendship with Bleu through photographs. In Wenzel's telling, she and Bleu were both deeply involved in the scene subculture of the early aughts, a time of tight jeans, swooping haircuts, and high drama on sites like MySpace and LiveJournal. Wenzel was trying to hook up with a member of one of her favorite bands on a tour bus in Iowa City when Bleu stepped on board. The two young women realized they had mutual friends and a shared interest in music, and the men who made it. She said that she was going to be very famous for sleeping with band members, Wenzel recalled. Wenzel takes issue with Bleu's timeline of her first trafficking experience. She claims that she too was at the Warped Tour concert where Bleu met the photographer she claims groomed her. But while Bleu said that she wasn't even 18 when she met the photographer, Wenzel insists that Bleu would have been in her early 20s, putting the date of the concert sometime in the early 2000s.
True.
Her timeline is just so weird, Wenzel said, noting she believes that Bleu appears to be lying about her age in certain articles.
She always lied about her age.
Bleu moved to Los Angeles, but Wenzel doesn't remember hearing about her old friend being trafficked. Instead, she said Bleu unsuccessfully tried to convince Wenzel to move in with her in California. She did not recall Bleu calling home to the Quad Cities with tales of being addicted to ice, or living with a trafficked group of transgender women in the Hollywood Hills. Wenzel said she keeps seeing these stories out of LA, and believes that absolutely didn't happen. By 2005, Bleu was back in Illinois and eventually earned a cosmetology license. Bleu began touring as a traveling stylist for musicians, where she received her first taste of internet controversy. Bleu worked for mega-popular rock band My Chemical Romance as a stylist, going by the hair-inspired name, Eliza Cuts, online. Blue's job brought her into a group of My Chemical Romance entourage members dubbed the world's most hated crew. That clique also included future YouTube star and makeup mogul Jeffree Star, who would later be accused of paying out hush money to sexual assault accusers. Blue was closely monitored by the band's fans on sites like LiveJournal, particularly after she entered a brief engagement with My Chemical Romance's heartthrob lead singer, Gerard Way. But Blue stirred up some controversy of her own with die-hard supporters of the band, in online mini-scandals that featured Blue calling Star the N-word and allegedly authoring a thinly veiled fictional account of her failed relationship with Way. After leaving the rock circuit, Blue lived with a friend in Chicago from roughly 2009 to 2011. That's around the period when Blue claims she began to be sex trafficked again by the unnamed athlete in a violence-plagued neighborhood. But that's not how her former roommate, who asked the Daily Beast not to use her name out of fear of backlash from Blue's fans, remembers it. Instead, she said the pair lived in Wicker Park, an affluent, trendy Chicago neighborhood. The roommate said Blue's parents were always supportive financially. She was not in a precarious situation, the roommate told the Daily Beast in a text message. The roommate does remember Blue sleeping on the floor, though not because of bullets. She slept on the floor but by choice, because she was into these floor pillows at the time, the friend told the Daily Beast, though she added that Blue eventually bought a bed. Like the ex-roommate, Wenzel scoffs at the idea that Blue lived in a dangerous neighborhood. Wenzel, who by then was married with a child, said she brought her toddler to visit Blue and the roommate at their apartment, hardly the front line of a gang war. That is so not true, Wenzel said. She lived in a really cute apartment. They're the whitest girls you could ever meet.
Okay.
There was no gang activity. Around this time, Blue resurfaced online as Eliza Seep in 2010, unsuccessfully auditioning for American Idol using a surname she had picked up during a short-lived marriage. But she soon moved on to a new name and another position in the music industry. Now she would become Eliza Knows, the sultry, self-proclaimed music video vixen. Under her new online name, Blue began to dance as a video vixen in mostly low-budget music videos. A YouTube playlist that appears to have been compiled by Blue herself shows her gyrating in videos from 2012 and 2013 with song titles like Feelin' Myself and A Million Ways to Love You. In one 2012 video Blue posted to YouTube, she filmed herself calling her mother to shock her with the news that she'd become a music video dancer, only to discover that her mother was happy for her. In the video, Blue told her mother she wanted to become a music video dancer because of her childhood admiration for the Fly Girls, dancers on the comedy show In Living Color. Blue also gave interviews about the video vixen lifestyle. In 2016, Blue, speaking in a markedly different voice than the one she used in earlier media appearances and the one she uses today, claimed that she had rejected an offer to have sex with a client for $150,000.
$150,000!
It's a nice offer, but it's not me, Blue said.
She was talking like
Still,
a wigger.
It appears that Blue may have engaged in some kind of sex work around this time. In one interview, Blue advertised her account on a now-defunct camgirl website where men could pay money to talk with her. Around 2016, Wenzel claims that Blue asked her to join her as an escort, promising that Wenzel could make $500 in a night, an offer that stunned Wenzel and her husband.
She was trying to be a pimp!
She was absolutely loving it, Wenzel said. She was bragging about it, saying she was making so much money. Blue later suggested that sex workers with a pimp might qualify as trafficking victims, though Wenzel said she didn't meet any pimp or trafficker when she socialized with Blue, be it an unnamed, high-profile athlete, or otherwise. She's a very powerful, very smart, intelligent woman. I will not discredit her for that, Wenzel said. She knows exactly what she's doing. As proof that she was trafficked, Blue often cites the organization she says saved my life, Eve's Angels, a Christian nonprofit that serves sex trafficking victims and women seeking to leave the commercial sex industry. In her telling, Blue, living in her gangland apartment in 2013 and desperate to leave her traffickers, contacted Eve's Angels after discovering founder Annie Donewald through a YouTube
All
video.
fraudulent.
In another recent tweet, Blue claimed to have found the group via a web address in a Bible the group left at a strip club. The group soon spirited Blue away from her traffickers and into a safe house 3 states away. In her account, Blue claims she briefly returned to her traffickers after that escape, but eventually escaped the traffickers' clutches for good around 2014.
As a grown-ass woman.
Donewald defended Blue from skeptics earlier this month, tweeting that Blue is the real deal. But, like Blue, Donewald's claims about sex trafficking in her own life have come under scrutiny.
Ooh.
In 2018, Donewald's parents and brother filed a defamation suit against Donewald and Eve's Angels. While Donewald and her children were living with her family members in Michigan, Donewald's parents confronted her about her treatment of her daughter, according to the lawsuit. In response, Donewald and her group accused her parents of sexually abusing and trafficking children, according to a 2022 appeals court opinion. Donewald took the case to police, leading to a criminal investigation into her parents but no charges. Donewald's claims fell apart after her daughter told her grandparents that Donewald had told her to fabricate the claims in an attempt to score a payoff from the grandparents, the appeals court opinion found. The activist was ordered to pay a judgment of more than $47,000, plus legal fees. As of the May 2022 appeals court ruling, the family was still stalled in settlement talks, with Donewald denying the defamation claims. Donewald did not respond to requests to comment. Eve's Angels did not return an email, and 2 phone numbers attached to the charity were either not in service or went directly to a full voicemail inbox. Bleu emerged as a public survivor advocate a few weeks into the pandemic, worrying in an April 2020 article in the conservative The Daily Wire that pandemic lockdowns would worsen sex trafficking. Within 2 years, she would amass a large profile through Twitter and right-wing podcasts, culminating in her alliance with Musk. In December, Bleu aided Musk in his campaign against Twitter's former head of trust and safety Yoel Roth, who seemingly angered the billionaire after resigning in November, linking to a 2010 tweet by Roth that read, "Can high school students ever meaningfully consent to sex with their teachers?" "This explains a lot," Musk replied, and many of his followers took the bait, suggesting that Roth was a depraved sex criminal. Amid other attacks, Roth reportedly was forced to flee his home. In truth, the 2010 tweet merely linked to a Salon article that did not advocate allowing teachers to have sex with minors. Instead, it examined a criminal case against a teacher who had an illegal relationship with an 18-year-old student. But now, cracks are starting to appear in Bleu's online reputation, especially within the right-wing circles she once courted. The controversy ignited on January 6, when she appeared on Tim Pool's video stream. During the show, Bleu claimed to represent 2 anonymous survivors of Andrew Tate,
Lies.
the kickboxer turned king of toxic masculinity, accused, with 3 other suspects, of sexual exploitation and other heinous crimes. Tate has denied wrongdoing. Some of Tate's most rabid fans, along with other right-wing users, began scrutinizing Bleu's backstory. They posted clips from past media appearances to cast doubt on her trafficking claims, and trolled her with screenshots from a racy music video dating back to 2016 that she participated in for worldstar hip-hop in her Eliza Knows phase. Bleu's outfits in the video were provocative, but they didn't feature nudity or appear to be non-consensual, and had been on YouTube for 7 years. Still, Twitter locked the accounts of several prominent right-wing personalities who cover internet drama after they refused to delete their tweets about the music video. Bleu, for her part, declared that the screenshots amounted to posting a non-consensual photo. In a series of tweets on January 20, she vowed to escalate to the full extent of the law. Twitter did an outstanding job and they will be excluded from legal action. There won't be anyone else involved spared. I take things all the way and I have no chill, Bleu wrote. I'm a survivor advocate and that doesn't stop with advocating for myself as a survivor. Ella Irwin, Twitter's head of trust and safety under Musk, who has also previously praised Bleu, defended the suspensions in a thread on Sunday. In the past 2 weeks, we've suspended multiple accounts and/or restricted content, causing confusion for users, Irwin wrote. Unfortunately, we can't answer questions or share details about specific users and account actions. But Bleu's critics have not been placated, especially after contemporaneous clips of Bleu as Eliza Knows, celebrating the launch of the WorldStar video surfaced, suggesting that she participated in its creation consensually. They've also dug up a 2021 interview in which Bleu told right-wing pundit Michael Malice that she was trafficked on Twitter when a group of people used her pictures to create social media accounts. At that point, Bleu had escaped her supposed actual traffickers years earlier, and the fake accounts were being used as some sort of ill-defined catfishing scheme, she said. Bleu's critics have seized on that interview, in which Bleu described a sort of identity theft as trafficking, as proof that Bleu uses an expansive definition of the term. The expansive definition also didn't sit right with Maria Farmer, a victim of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. From Farmer's perspective, Bleu's public posts seem to conflate what it means to be a sex trafficking victim with sex work. This woman and her cohorts have effectively bastardized the words trafficking and survivor. We just want to use the word victim now, Farmer told the Daily Beast. Since emerging as an anti-trafficking activist, Bleu has crossed paths with Epstein victims. In September 2020, she announced on Twitter that she had accepted a new position with Victims Refuse Silence, which at the time was the trafficking nonprofit of Virginia Giuffre, a high-profile victim of Epstein and Maxwell. By November of that year, Bleu tweeted that she had stepped back into a part-time role with the organization. Corporate records in Florida from 2021 and 2022 list Bleu as the group's secretary and director. Bleu was once featured in videos on the group's website, soliciting donations, asking people to get involved, and plugging her own Twitter handle as a resource for trafficking awareness. I firmly believe that anybody that's helping us in the survivor space should be very thoroughly vetted because we have a lot of nefarious players that just want to be close to victims and survivors, she said in one video, in which she claimed her former traffickers made a Twitter profile with her name, photos, and videos without her consent. Teresa Helm, a victim of Epstein and former director of Victims Refuse Silence, said she became friends with Bleu and asked her to join the group before it dissolved. She's been almost like a freelancer in the world of advocacy, said Helm, who now works for National Center on Sexual Exploitation, which was once known as Morality in Media. She's non-stop on Twitter, which has been wonderful because it has brought to light a lot of things that were happening that people weren't paying attention to otherwise, Helm continued, adding that Bleu told her she's friends with Musk. She's been a pioneer in waking people the hell up. Asked about Bleu's doubters, Helm said, I support her as a trafficking survivor entirely. Nothing in her past makes anything less valuable in terms of her advocacy work. It's not her job to prove anything to anybody.
Okay.
Still, some survivors of Epstein's sex ring said they didn't trust Bleu. One victim, who asked not to be named, told the Daily Beast that she shared concerns about Bleu after researching her background and finding ties to right-wing figures and publications, such as Pizzagate promoter Mike Cernovich and conservative website The Blaze. The ability to finally share my story and connect with others was freeing, but it's not as straightforward as simply going public, the Epstein victim said. Only a strong foundation of therapeutic recovery prepared me for the publicity generated by the salacious facts of this case. However, I was not prepared for my trauma being co-opted for others' gain. Farmer, who tried to report Epstein and Maxwell to the feds in the 1990s, said she had raised concerns about Bleu's backstory on Twitter, only for Bleu to block her.
Oh, damn.
She clung to us all from out of nowhere, Farmer said of Epstein survivors. She had none of the attributes of an Epstein victim yet insinuated otherwise. Bleu's critics have also seized on her reality television appearances in an attempt to poke holes in her trafficking story. Sometime around 2002, for example, she appeared on the dating show Blind Date as a contestant so hostile that the show's editors kept a running on-screen count of her complaints. In 2012, at the height of what she would later describe as her second period being sex trafficked deep in Chicago gang territory, Bleu appeared as an amateur model on Chicago-based The Steve Harvey Show, where Tyra Banks judged her performance. The suspensions have fueled speculation about Bleu's access to Twitter execs and complaints that Musk's supposed commitment to free speech only goes so far when his friends and allies are being embarrassed.
True.
David Karpf, an associate professor in the School of Media and Public Affairs at George Washington University, told the Daily Beast that the Bleu controversy underscores how chaotic content moderation has become under Musk. You can say whatever you want on Twitter, so long as nobody notices and you don't say mean things to anybody in Elon's circles, Karpf told the Daily Beast. For her part, Bleu insisted on Twitter on Tuesday that she didn't ask Musk to suspend the accounts that tweeted the WorldStar video. If I was going to ask for a favor from Elon Musk, I would ask him to make humans a multi-planetary species, she wrote. Farmer told the Daily Beast that Bleu's support of Musk was a slap in the face to survivors. She points to Musk's reported visit to Epstein's Manhattan mansion and Maxwell's infamous photo with Musk at a 2014 Vanity Fair Oscar party. Elon Musk needs to pull out a little Shakespeare and study it. Thou doth protest too much, she said, adding that she believes it's almost like he's hired this woman to cover for himself. Anyone who was even remotely affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein is odious at this stage, she added. In response to some of Bleu's pro-Musk tweets, multiple users have replied with a snapshot of Maxwell and Musk, with one writing, "Thank you Elon Musk, shown here with convicted child sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, for looking out for the children." For his part, Musk has claimed he was photobombed. Bleu has occasionally raised money online related to her anti-trafficking efforts. In 2020, she raised $1,625 for a vacation, writing that normally, I serve survivors of human trafficking. My standard caseload is 20 survivors at a time.
Lies.
During this season, one took on an extra 61 survivors via online advocacy. She raised another $2,205 the following year to attend the Libertarian Freedom Fest conference. Bleu has also indicated that she opened a safe house of her own for trafficking victims. In March 2020, she tweeted that she had opened the facility, called the Humanity House. It is unclear whether the facility is currently in operation.
Nope, it's not.
Bleu's latest posts, which once attracted praise, are now rife with trolls. One person created an account in her name whose main photo features Bleu bent over alongside the caption, "Help, I am being trafficked." Another user remade the Steve Buscemi, "Fellow Kids," meme with Bleu's face and the words, "Hello fellow survivors of human trafficking." There's definitely a lot of misogyny and right-wing trolls, an ex-boyfriend of Bleu's told the Daily Beast. I don't think she should have to be dealing with any of that. According to the Beau, who asked to remain anonymous, the two met in 2019 at an event for presidential candidate Andrew Yang. At the time, he says, Bleu was working in elder care and living on her family farm. Bleu shared with him that she'd been trafficked in Los Angeles as a teenager. He had no reason to disbelieve her. It wasn't like she just randomly came up with a trafficking story, he said, adding that when it comes to her personal life, she is definitely a very private person, despite how public she is. Even back then, however, Bleu told him she wanted to be famous. She mentioned how she would love to be on the Ben Shapiro podcast, the ex said, adding that she also envisioned starring on Joe Rogan's show. That was a joke that she had. I'm going to get on Joe Rogan before you. Bleu also joked about the famous men she dreamed of dating, with Musk among them. She once told me there's 3 people I would cheat on you with: Ben Shapiro, Elon Musk, and then there might have been one other, he recalled. The reason this is all funny to me now is because last month she was on Ben Shapiro's podcast. Her and Elon Musk are in communication with each other, the ex told the Daily Beast. She definitely had these aspirations of being somebody. Her aspirations are kind of going exactly how she wanted in a weird way.
Ben Shapiro, dude. Ben Shapiro. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. Hold on, let me see. How you do that? Control F? Control F? Oh shit, no, that wrong one. Sorry. Control F. Damn, they don't have, you can't put a Control F on this article? Nope, they won't let you. Where it talked about Mike Cernovich, right? The reason, now the Blaze, I don't understand why they would have a problem with the Blaze. I was trying to go to where that is. But the reason why you should, because I saw some people who are in the center don't understand why being associated with Mike Cernovich is a bad thing, is because Mike Cernovich comes from the pickup community. Mike Cernovich came from the manosphere community. Also, Mike Cernovich is also a grifter who likes to take women and infiltrate them into the conservative movement, like Candace Owens. Candace Owens is only here because it's Mike Cernovich. A lot of you all don't know that, right? He was the one who took her from the left, and when she was known as Candace Owens on the left, and then rebranded her as Red Pill Black. Okay? So that is the thing about him. He can't be trusted. He tried to infiltrate in everybody's circle, but he also, wrote an article which he tried to get people deplatformed on how it feels to have sex with he used the T word slang. I can't say it here on YouTube because I get in trouble. So he is a POS, right? He's just, I wouldn't. Now the Blaze, I don't, besides it being owned by, what is the dag Mormon name? Glenn Beck. Besides it being owned by Glenn Beck, I don't understand why you would have a problem with the Blaze. I mean, I don't like Glenn Beck, But to sit up here and by the glaze. But hold on, it even gets a little worse though. So this was a really, really good article. And I like the article because they actually took her on, here go the best friend, the two best friends. They actually took her testimony on what she said on various interviews, and they also fact checked it against some of her female friends. And so that's what I have. I actually have a video of her admitting that, yeah, I went to this guy, he gave me some drugs, and then he trafficked me for $500. Come to find out that the reason why she said the $500 is that that's how much she was selling herself for, and also telling her friend, this one right here, to basically, hey, you can get paid $500. You know what I'm saying? So she was doing escort work. And so she's trying to whitewash her past by being an escort by saying, oh, I'm a sex traffic victim. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you are not. You're not even close to being that. And I know, oh, and hold on. Somebody gave a $20 donation. Hold on a second. Let me go to that. Steph Colonel, thank you so much for the $20 donation. I saw it earlier, but I couldn't stop the daggone thing. Eliza could have been an advocate for human trafficking without having to lie. Exactly. And she would have been good. She sure would if she's done now. Nobody's going to take her seriously now. Her life as a so-called sex trafficking advocate is nothing. Also, what is worse is now, if you was to Google her name, this article is going to show up along with other people's videos showing what she's done. She attempted to gain prominence in the conservative space, and they allowed it because they accept anything. Holy smokes, tell the truth, shame the devil. Boom, headshot. I tell everybody, if you want to grift to somebody, grift to conservatives. They are so thirsty, dude. They are the most thirstiest of the thirsties. They are very thirsty people. Very thirsty people. And you shouldn't, oh my God, dude. Whatever, dude. So that's the thing when it comes to the article. And so much is coming out about her. Let's see. Let's go to Chrissy's. I got something. By the way, Jeremy finally did something with some backbone, dude. Y'all know I always go after him because he do soft takes and stuff like that, right? So he did this before, but he didn't get locked out of his account. Let's see what he's talking about. He didn't get locked out of his account, so kudos to him. Let's see. Jack Murphy, it was a simple super chat from Madick Balls. For Eliza Bleu, it was a 6-year-old video that nobody cared about. It's always a nothing burger that leads to these grifters imploding. Exactly. All she had to say was, you know what, guys? I did escort work. I was a video vixen. I was all these things. But during the time when I was doing these things, I did come across some sex trafficking victims. And that's why I'm an advocate for it. And I can actually bring some attention to it. That's all that is. That's all she could have done. So anyway, hope to have the new Eliza Bleu files today. Oh yeah, he's supposed to be releasing that today too. I don't know who made that. Elon Musk and Twitter must be held to previous promises to stop CP and CS exploitation on his platform. Now I'm calling on the Department of Justice to investigate troubling reports that Twitter is failing to do so. I would say that the Eliza Bleu files are being seen. Okay. And that's what they complained. They said Eliza Bleu was Ghislaine Maxwell because, she tried to get her friend. She tried to recruit her friend to also be an escort. So this right here just, dude, Tim Pool don't even need to do an article at this moment. He's just done. And I'm so glad that the Daily Beast, although I don't like the Daily Beast, they came out with some daggone credibility. So they said around 2016, Wenzel claims that Blue asked her to join her as an escort. No pimping. Gazelle, just tried to do Gazelle Maxwell, promising that Wenzel could make $500 a night, and offered that stun Wenzel and her and her husband. She offered her friend to work as an escort in front of her husband. No shame. No. Girl, could you imagine? Are you serious? Could you imagine? Blue later suggested that sex workers, she was absolutely loving it. Wenzel said she was bragging about it, saying she was making so much money. Does this sound like a sex traffic victim to you? Don't sound like one to me. Blue later suggested that the sex workers with a pimp might qualify as sex traffic victims, though Wenzel said she didn't meet any pimp or trafficker when she socialized with Blue, be it an unnamed high-profile athlete or otherwise. No, the high-profile athlete is somebody she basically solicited for her services, if you know what I'm talking about. There was no trafficking. That athlete didn't traffic her. How does an athlete have time to do some trafficking? All these athletes want to do is stick and move, stick and move, stick and move. And if they got the money and you got the time, then what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? She's a very powerful, very intelligent woman. I would not discredit her for that. Wenzel said she knows exactly what she is doing. So that came out, baby. And it was amazing that came. I'm like, wow. Hold on. There's one more thing I want to show you guys. Cause I gotta be on with I gotta fix something to eat. I'm supposed to break. Oh, this stuff right here. I don't think I'm gonna show y'all this. I'm gonna show you the actual video. Let's go to Chrissy's thing first. See if she's. Yeah, this was just disgusting. Yep. Wow. She's really trending. I'm ready for the Daily Beast to be trending too, but okay. The Daily Beast literally used the exact same info that Farron, Chrissy, Marish, Anna, Venti, Tony, Blue Aaron, DeFango, myself, and many others have been making public for 10 days. It's all real, but because it's the Daily Beast, y'all want to pretend it's a smear. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, these fools talking about something. Oh, it's the Daily Beast. They ain't had to get political. Dude, I cut somebody and I blocked them. I said, shut up, dude. Shut your mouth. It doesn't, I don't care if it's political. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Where's the lie? They're going to try to discredit because it's the Daily Beast. All the Daily Beast did was get everybody's receipts and just started to use it. That's all they did. While these stupid Munchie lovers were waiting on Tim Pool to come out with something. Tim Pool, when you gonna talk about a Tim Pool? Nah, we had to depend upon our enemy. Hold on, but let me get on to something else. So here is something really nasty. Right here. A bunch of libertarians do, and these are the libertarians that need to be wood chipped. Every last one of them. They need to be put in a wood chipper. These are these nasty libertarians who think that there should not be an age of consent. So we have 2P in the files with this chick also, Miss X Escort, but I'm a traffic victim, all saying that, yeah, it's okay for kids as young as 12, 13, 14, and 15 to engage with a young adult. Now, this idiot is called Liberty Lockdown. I hate everything about these people, right? I can't stand when you have people who don't have kids. Well, this fool right here says he says a 19-year-old, but apparently he's not with the mother. They never got married. He never raised them. So as far as I'm concerned, the reason why you never raised your daughter is because you can't be trusted around your daughter. And this one don't have a child, and obviously this one don't have no kid. Thank God. So listen to what they say.
I mean, I'm a survivor of child sexual human trafficking.
No, you're not.
I can tell you how I feel. I'm not feeling too good about it right now. So we can always talk about how we feel, or we can talk about everybody as a whole, right? So let's talk about the problem as a whole, not how one person feels. Does that make sense?
I mean, I'm talking about many people, but okay, yeah, sure.
Well,
but I mean, you would certainly acknowledge that there are many people who are, 13, 14, 15 that have sex with an adult and then feel as if they were taken advantage of too.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so let's focus on the worst.
Many, yes,
okay, so let's pretend like we all have our like utopia. So if I could answer this in utopia, right? Am I like?
Oh my God, I see. I've seen this before, so just get ready, guys. Remember, this heifer talking about a utopia. Listen to her utopia.
Perfect ANCAP utopia. Each community, and each so it'd be each caregiver, parent, and community, including teachers, potential faith leaders, and neighbors, will decide if the child is ready to consent and look at the child's behavior. Do they have a job? How is their education going? Are they cognitively available to have sex with this individual? And then also look at the history of
what 12-year-old, what 13-year-old, what 14-year-old, what 15-year-old has cognitive ability to have. Are you serious? Oh, I'm telling this bitch, dude. This heifer. She's saying the community can decide when someone whose brain has not fully developed can consent to sex. She lost her mind. This right here is the most damning video. I've seen a lot of damning video, but when you start becoming, the pea in the dough and the foul, then you just lost all kind of credibility with me, baby.
The individual as well. So does this individual have a history of abuse?
Yep.
And then you go from there.
Yep.
So that's the answer. And I feel that these are conversations because, in different cultures, you cannot turn your back on different cultures, and you have to respect them.
Yes, you can turn your back on different cultures, and yes, you can turn your back on them. That right now, in a certain culture, not going to mention the name because I always get in trouble when I talk about this culture. It is cultural for someone to sell their 8-year-old girl, 8-year-old daughter to an old-ass man. That is a barbaric culture that should be destroyed. What's wrong with you? I don't have to respect the culture that sells little girls to old men for marriage. I don't have to respect that culture. What's wrong? Oh, God, Lord of mercy.
But in an ANCAP society, you also have to expect that if someone engages in a relationship where it's not seen by the community, by the very small community, as agreed upon, you have to accept the consequences. That's the answer.
I agree with everything you just said 100%.
That's the answer. But you weren't adding that nuance. But Thad, you were not adding that nuance on Twitter, and you know it. And I'm not trying to be mean to you. Like, I'm cool. Like, we're cool. But I'm just like, you weren't adding that on. You weren't adding that in. And I was like, yo, that's a smart person. Like, why are you dropping the ball? Maybe it's because you didn't have anyone to talk to about it. I'm here to talk to you about it. I'm like, yeah, in a perfect world.
The nuance of underage intercourse. These clowns are having a nuanced discussion. Say, it's nuance. It's nuance. It's a nuanced discussion of whether it's acceptable to be that young and to have sex with a grown adult.
World, we could all agree. And honestly, Thad, I wish that communities were small like that and involved in their children's lives. I truly feel that child sexual abuse material, and human trafficking would diminish by quite a bit. And that's partly why I'm ANCAP, right? That's what led me to this.
Wait, but you said you was conservative. This heifer done gone to anarchist, to conservative, to libertarian, to ANCAP. She's a shapeshifter. She can form to any group and appeal to anybody. but that gets you caught real quick.
See the way
Yeah.
the government's fumbling this, and do I feel that some minors are more equipped to engage in sexual activity with adults than others? Yes, but we always look at the most. So when we set those numbers, right, we set them for life expectancy. So life expectancy has changed. Also, in different countries, different children have different things expected upon them. So children can be expected to clean, work, and maybe not even getting educated because they're expected to raise their siblings because their parents are working in fields. So when we're comparing to other countries, we have to put that all into the play. Does that?
What does cleaning, raising your siblings, and cooking has anything to do with actually sexual intercourse? Like, how are you conflating that? Oh, baby, you can cook now. Let me sell you over here to Mr. Johnson down here, and he's going to basically break your cherry. She should be slapped.
Make sense?
100%. In
Yeah.
some countries, they're expected to get married when they're 12, right?
100%.
I mean,
Yeah,
look at
so
this.
we have to
Look at
put
this.
all this.
Pat-
So,
Oh
in
my God, a
society where
pat
we're
off.
all living, like ANCAP or like ANCAP. I'm expected to live as neighbors with folks that might marry at 12.
Oh my God. I don't know why this video was uploaded a year ago. I don't know why this is now being released, dude. I cannot believe this has, I just found the video this morning. I didn't even know. No, sorry, not this morning. Last night. I found out about the video last night. I had no idea that this woman was like, oh yeah, at the age of 12, yes, they should be able to do the ding dang. You know what I'm saying? They should be able to do that thing. Dude, this alone should have canceled her, dude. Guess what? As far as I'm concerned, if I ever catch her advocating, if I ever catch her speaking, I'm sorry, I'm going to make this right here. Say, this is my hot button right here when it comes to when you want to include kids. This whole thing with her being an escort and her, being a video vixen and, you know what I'm saying, doing all that. You know what I'm saying? I really ain't got no big beef with that. My big beef with her is now two things. It was just one thing. My big beef with her was her deplatforming people. Now my second big thing with her is now she's a pedophile. She's actually a advocator. Yeah, exactly. She's a pee in the dough and a foul advocator. She's pro pedophilia. Okay.
yeah.
And then we have to, and so the way that works is you decide whether or not your neighbor. So eventually, if you decide, okay, this community over here is on some heavy exploitation of children, then as a community, as the neighbor, you would take over that community. And that's
okay.
What?
Sure.
Well, my
I mean,
buddy,
Oh my!
my buddy,
I'm not being sexist. But do you see why I said you cannot have men take this woman down? Do you see how Tweedledee and Tweedledummer just nod their head and agreed with this stupidity? Did you just see this? Did you see them too? They're so caught up with her, she's attractive. You know what I'm saying? Did you see? Hold on, let me watch it again. Hold on a second. This was, oh my God. Watch it again.
exploitation of children, then as a community, as the neighbor, you would take over that community. And that's how
okay. Sure.
Well, my
I mean-
buddy, my buddy Jose Galison from No Way Jose tweeted out, and a bunch of people agreed with it. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of lean towards his option here. He says that the age of consent is whatever age I decide that it's irrational to put a bullet in the brain of the person that's sleeping with
you
my
know
child.
what? And you know what?
Wait a minute. The age of consent is the
age of consent is whatever age I decide that it's irrational to put a bullet in the brain of the person that's sleeping.
The age of consent is the age where it's irrational to put a bullet in the age. I'm sincere. I'm not. Does anybody understand what that? Can anybody? What does that mean? Let me listen to that one more time.
Sure.
Well, my
I mean,
buddy Jose Galasan from No Way Jose tweeted out, and a bunch of people agreed with it. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of lean towards his option here. He says that the age of consent is whatever age I decide that it's irrational to put a bullet in the brain of the person that's sleeping with my child.
Oh, sleeping with his child. He said the age of consent is the age when I think is irrational to put a bullet in the head of someone who's sleeping with my child. Okay.
And you know what? I think I said I agree with that. I have no problem with that. I mean, I think
honestly, it's a good enough deterrent that it would keep a ton of people from even
But
considering it.
I think what we're missing in this conversation, it was also force parents to be a part of their children's lives, which we are lacking right now. This is a big problem of why this is.
See, and I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on, I said this on my Twitter, right? When I said on my Twitter, I'm glad she said that. Hold on a second. I want to take y'all to my Twitter for a second. Where is my Twitter? Where is my Twitter? Where is my Twitter? Frank got my Twitter. This is that chick from the Eve house. Hold on a second. Let me see something here let me get my Twitter. Okay, here we go. So I want to show y'all something. I asked this question for a reason. Let's see if we can get to it. This is what I said. You can be raised in a traditional two-parent home and still have daddy issues, just saying. Now, the reason why I said that, of course, some stupid monkeys are going to chimp in there and go like, if your daddy ain't there, how you going to have daddy? Shut up, okay? And it was all men who said stupid like this. Let me tell you what's going on with Eliza, right? She has massive daddy issues. Big time daddy issues. Why? Because her own father was too busy tending to the farm, tending to his politics, to actually be there to raise her. So the reason why Eliza was so happy to make a lot of money escorting was because she was getting validation from other men. The reason why she likes to portray herself in videos as video vixens is because it's a way to get validation from men, because she did not get it from her father. When you don't get validation from your dad or your father figure growing up as a girl, you get on the pole, or you start doing nudes, or you start like doing video vixen, you start twerking, you start doing something to get the validation from the men around you. That's how that works. So people are like, well, she didn't come from a broken home. No, she came from a very affluent home. They don't have to worry about money, but money isn't everything. She did not get and that's the reason why when she called her mom in reference to her video days. Did you hear that? She called her mom and asked her mom, how did her mother feel about her being in videos? She didn't ask her dad, because her dad ain't there. That's all that is. That's all that is. So this woman is just, and I knew she was dangerous, but I didn't think she was this dangerous.
Happening in the first place. If you are involved in your children's lives, and I know not everybody has a perfect family structure, but the caregivers' lives, I mean, if you are responsible for deciding whom a young person engages in intercourse with, then I think that you would be a little bit more involved in that child's life. And
Who says this? Who says this? What parent says, oh, little Cindy, I'm going to decide when you're going to have sex? Who does this? From my understanding, the parents do everything to keep their children a virgin until they're out of the house. And you know what? When they're out of the house, when they're legal age. I don't know any sane freaking parent that decides when their child is going to give up their virginity, except for parents who are on drugs, except for parents who are in Islam. Like, who says this?
Comes down to teachers, neighbors, caregivers,
Yes.
sports teachers, all this
These old
stuff. So I
pedophiles.
think
Yes,
that would be ideal,
yes,
and I think
yes,
that's the
yes,
conversation you're trying to have, Thad. But that's not. It's not coming out on Twitter.
Well, we're here now. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, as you
Yeah.
said, it doesn't. Well, you can't do this on Twitter, so that's why I
No,
called.
you can't.
Yeah.
So
That's why I
as far
called-
as the feelings go, so the
He
community.
has a Twitter. I'm going to call him nasty. He has a Twitter. Are they trying to back off of this now? Are they trying to back off of this now? I am completely shocked to discover. Are they trying to say this is out of context? That's what they're trying to play, the out of context thing? Are they trying to play the out of context thing? Are you serious? Really? Really? Hold on a second. That's not what I wanted to. Listen to these nasty ass people discuss how it is acceptable for children as young as 12 to have sex with adults, provided that the parents, teachers, guardians, or community leaders are involved. At FBI, you need to look into this. Okay, listen to these nasty ass people discuss how it is acceptable for children as young as 12 to have sex with adults, provided that the parents, teachers, guardians, or community leaders are involved. FBI, okay, there we go. Nasty ass motherfuckers, I can't stand it.
And the caregivers would decide if the child is being groomed, manipulated, or coerced.
Of course.
So the child doesn't decide necessarily. And at what point do they decide? That maybe we could debate on cognitive ability.
Cognitive abilities. Please tell me the cognitive ability of a 12-year-old, of a 13-year-old. Hell, you know what? Let's talk about the cognitive ability of a 17-year-old. I'll even go 17. I'll even say 17, even though 17 is legal in several states. I'll even say 17. You're saying that the cognitive ability of a 17-year-old is fully developed than a 21-year-old? Are you serious? They need to be playing the wood chipper. They need to be helicoptered, dude. I'm like, oh my God.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Oh yeah.
there's we're kind of dancing around the issue here. I mean, we're not dancing around it, but I think that there's a focal question that needs to be addressed is, can a kid, because if you're 13, I would still kind of consider you a kid. Can they consent? You know, whether or not.
No, they can't. No, I cannot believe we're say, guy, I'm not gonna listen to this. No, hold on, I'm gonna listen 2 more minutes of this. I'll give you guys the link. Okay, call these people nasty. Put them on blast. We're listening to the full context of this daggone discussion. They're trying to backpedal. They're actually debating about the consent of children. These nasty ass people. And then when they get put on blast, they're like, oh, we're just taking it out of context. That's always the get out of jail free card with these people taken out of context.
They feel okay about it once they become
hold on. Let's rewind that part. Because we don't want to take him out of context.
And a kid, because if you're 13, I would still kind of consider you a kid. Can they consent? You know, whether or not they
can't.
Feel okay about it once they become an adult. Can they consent?
No,
really, it's a question that I don't have an answer for.
You don't have an answer for that? Oh my God! This pedophile right here doesn't know if he doesn't. Did you hear what he said, chat? Did you just hear what he said? The little pedophile up here with the mustache, with the goatee, right? He said 13. I mean, can they really consent? I mean, I don't have an answer for that. Woo! Oh, God. Please watch over your kids, baby. Y'all need to watch. First of all, she don't have no kids, so she don't understand how this is just a ridiculous thing to talk about. I would tear these people up in a conversation about this.
It's tough, right? Is it tough to you? Or is that clear?
No, because I think when we look in history, right? So when we look at life expectancy, like before, I probably would have already been dead. I mean, I'm a 40-year-old woman, so I probably would have already been dead at many points in history. So I would have had to have had children earlier. Now, with the use of modern technology, I still have a chance, right? But
girl, ain't nobody dumb enough to make a baby out of your whole ass. Oh God.
In the past, I would have had to start having intercourse earlier, and that would have required.
No, you didn't. Hold on. First of all, I hate this argument because the several areas in the demographics did not have a short life expectancy. However, we are in the 21st century where people are living up into their centennial years. They can make it to 100. They are making it well into the 90s. Why are you trying to justify your wicked obsession with kids by going back to what? The caveman days, or some parts of the world where life expectancy wasn't past 40 because they was getting eat up by dinosaurs? So you want to conflate that. So you want to daggone justify your twisted perversion by saying, well, look, if we was around a time when you couldn't make it past 40, I mean, I would have had kids at the age of 12. No, you wouldn't. Because here's another thing they're not going to tell y'all guys. Little girls were not having their menstrual period at that early age back then. Because of the estrogenic foods, the estrogenic hormones in our foods, the little girls are having their menstrual cycle earlier. They're developing earlier because of the hormones in the food. Even if you go into the 40s, girls were not having their menstrual at 12. The earliest they were having them at was 14. So you want to sit up here and say, oh my God. But you want to sit up here and conflate the fact that we have an extended life expectancy. Life expectancy has been extended. You can live a very long time. So there's no need for us to go back to barbaric days. What a nasty self.
Start around the time of menstruation, and sometimes children can menstruate around very young. I think that it depends on the culture. She just
stopped herself from being nasty.
I think it depends. Well, first and foremost, we're speaking, and just for clip purposes only, right, gentlemen? We're speaking in the context of like total NCAP like environment, right? We're not speaking under the context of like.
I'm done. Here, I'll give you guys. I don't want to listen to this no more. I'm sincerely getting angry, listening to this because children, the elderly, the children, and the mentally handicapped, they are not able to defend themselves. Okay, here you go. They are not able to defend themselves. So it takes society, it takes the community to protect them from predators. So you always supposed to look out for children because children can't defend themselves against bigger men, bigger women, bigger people, adults. You always have to watch out for them. You also have to watch out for the mentally handicapped because they could be adults too, and they're just mentally handicapped. They don't know right from wrong. They just don't know a bad person from a good person. They can be easily manipulated as well. And then of course the elderly, they're just old. They don't move as much. They don't move fast enough. They are not strong like that. And they're weaker, and they're not, and they also are a little trusting. This is the reason why a lot of these con artists out of India like to take this life savings of elderly people because they're trusting and they're a little naive about the computer, and they can get their bank account just robbed. So there's that, and it's just, oh my God, it's just I could not. And I think when you deal with women, let me tell you something, men. Men, listen to me. Listen to me. Stay away from women who don't have close relationships with children and help raise them. Even if these women don't have kids, to say something like that makes me realize that she's so disconnected from kids. You know, saying if you never helped raise kids, if you never helped oversee kids, you would look at this conversation and just be like, damn, where is my shotgun? Where is my shotgun? I need to daggone cleanse this world of these idiots right here. So yeah, and so there's that. I'm just, oh my God, I cannot believe that. Oh, Lord of mercy. Okay. Wow. But I'm gonna, I gotta get off in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna get off at 5. So it wasn't a long thing today. I may, cause like let me just say this. I had no idea that the article was going to be released today. That's the only reason I'm doing a stream now, is because the article is being released. The article is released, and Twitter is off the hook right now. Twitter is like, she's done, dude. She's done. But I wish I have seen this video. I wish I have seen this back last weekend. Because this is all, I would have never shut up about this right here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a video about this alone. I'm going to throw all of them underneath the bus. You cannot justify this. You cannot. This is idiot time. You ain't going to justify this with me, baby. No, you ain't. You ain't going to sit up here and Liberty Lock Proud discuss this clip last night. Is in context of whatever, dude. You ain't gonna. No. I listened to the entire context. You guys are sincerely trying to normalize children engaging in sexual activity with adults. You have lost your mind. I don't think so. No. That's gonna be a big no for me. And by the way, people letting them have it in the daggone and you see what I said. Look, you see what I said. I said, look at these sickness. Look at the sickness. A bunch of pedos trying to normalize sex with kids. You people should be wood chipped. Oh Lord. Eliza wants seemingly mature kids to be available for adult use. Eliza Bleu, sip, nose cuts, etc. is absolutely sick in the head. All of them sick in the head. Don't let the guys get away with it. This is the most disgusting, nuanced discussion I have ever forced myself to listen to. Unbelievable. These three damaged people need to be separated and have conversations again, but with sexual abuse survivors. No. They need to be. That's what they. That's what it's talking to. Survivors don't do nothing with these crazy people. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. They're done. When you get to this point right now in your mind where you think this is acceptable, there's no cure for that except for, helicopter rides or wood chippers. That's all that is. Okay? That's all that is. You don't need to be here anymore. Okay? You don't need, or be put in solitary confinement or a jail, something like that. But you don't need to be out in society. You are a danger to the public. That's all that is. That's all that is. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. I may come on at 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. We'll see. I got a full schedule today. So I'm supposed to be meeting with Farron at 6 o'clock. So listen, I was supposed to break my vegan diet today, and I don't have time. So I still doing the vegan thing, but I'll break it soon enough. I don't know what to think. I got the fish in the refrigerator, and I haven't, because I got to sit there and listen. I got to cook it well the way I like it, and I don't have time. So there's that. But I'll break it and I'll take a picture because it looks like the video thing is not working. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming by. All right, I really appreciate it. And yeah. And also, hold on, who was that? Steph. I want to thank my one person who donated. Yeah, Steph. Thank you so much, Steph, for donating. So you guys, I'll be doing my political thing at 8 o'clock, and then I probably will come on here at 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll see. You just stand by just in case, okay? All right, take care. Bye.